we went from chemistry to metallurgy, and now to alchemy on pages number 6 and number 7, okay, if you're following along. Now, alchemy, again, has become very synonymous with turning anything into gold and giving people eternal life. And you think, well, that's kind of dumb, Mr. Mian. They grabbed a really good field and they just kind of threw it away. Not altogether true. You see, alchemists, in order to do their chemistry, they needed to develop special equipment. And so they gave the world some of the very first glass measuring devices, like beakers. They were the very first. Now maybe they wouldn't be Pyrex, but they realized nothing reacts with glass. You can put acid inside of glass. You can put extremely hot substances inside of glass. You can put chemicals that could eat away flesh. But if you put it in glass, nothing would happen. And so they made sure that they made their instruments out of glass. And so they were the very first ones to give us, as Laura was saying, the whole array of, when you imagine chemistry and you just imagine this guy filled with all these glass vials, that was given by the alchemists. And not only glass, but they also made ceramics. Now, as you guys are going to find out later, both of them have their uses. Ceramics are used for extremely hot things, especially if you're doing things like working with molten metal, right? You put molten metal in a glass beaker, that's not going to end too well. But you can put molten metal into certain ceramic containers, which is why glass devices and ceramics were both used by alchemists until, of course, that knowledge passed out of existence. Now, you guys have heard of the Dark Ages during the time before the medieval period, right? Those are not just dark because, you know, there wasn't, you think maybe there was moral decadence, maybe people just weren't as nice back then. It was called Dark Ages because supposedly we lost a lot of this information. People just kind of forgot. As the center of civilization moved from the east over west towards France and England, and we just lost a bunch of this science. And you started looking at doctors that would do things like, if you were sick, they would put leeches to suck out your blood because they thought that that was the way to cure you, right? And thankfully, this knowledge was eventually recovered, but it was recovered in very many unusual ways. Let's go ahead and keep reading. Turn the page to page 8. Okay, those of you following along, in 1800.